Imagine this, you've done the work. You spent countless hours building out your data analyst projects, those impressive dashboards, clean SQL queries, insightful Python analysis. You're confident your work proves you can solve real business problems. You're sending out applications, clicking submit, and nothing. Just silence, or worse, endless rejections. You're putting in the effort, but your incredible data analyst portfolio isn't getting you interviews. Why? Here's the painful truth and the hidden reason most people don't get hired. It's not that your projects suck, it's because you're invisible. You're applying into a black hole without the critical strategic step that gets you noticed, that gets you trusted, and sets you up for that all important internal referral. This video is going to reveal that missing step, and I'm going to show you the strategic low risk move that flips the script and gets your portfolio and you in front of the right people who actually hire long before you even need a job. Hi, I'm Jeff, and I first became a data analyst over 13 years ago, and now I'm a business analyst consultant at a Fortune 5 company. I've helped on the hiring side, so I know firsthand how people get hired and also how they get overlooked. Today, I'm going to be diving into what I call the connect early step. It's a vital bridge that connects all the hard work that you put into learning skills, creating projects, to actually merging that together to getting hired. For those of you who are following this Epic Launch System video series, this is the underscore in the middle of the epic with the launch. Epic is your learning and creating phase. The launch is your job search phase. And this is the part that merges them together. This is the bridge that takes your learning, building to job searching and eventually getting hired. Also, my mission is to help 10,000 people break into data analytics by sharing actionable insights. So if you're serious about landing your first data job, hit that subscribe button now because I'm here to guide you every step of the way. So in this phase, it's all about becoming visible, building trust to get referrals. So why is this an unfair advantage? It's simple because you're playing the long game. Most people are waiting until their projects are perfect, which they're never going to be, and then they dump their resume on the job boards and hope for the best. It's going to be this transactional low leverage approach, but in this step, we're going to do something a little different. It's a strategic bridge that connects everything that you've learned and that you've built into your job search. Your job search now is to get hired. So now we're going to prep for that by planting seeds today that will blossom into warm leads, credible referrals, and even direct opportunities in the future. If you just completed your project in step C, you showcased your abilities. Now you're going to take those completed projects, even if they're not fully complete, you're going to focus on one strong project or even your portfolio plan from step P to get expert eyes on them. So what we're going to be doing is first, we're going to be getting real-time market research and portfolio refinement. So instead of guessing what companies want, you're going to get direct input from the people inside those companies that would potentially hire you. They're going to tell you if your projects are impactful for their specific industry, relevant for their current business challenges, or are missing a critical element. This helps you refine your broad portfolio for maximum impact before you even hit apply. Their feedback will often help you further niche down your portfolio for those industry-specific needs, guiding you where to build that vertical stem later, like we talked about previously. This also builds credibility and trust. You're not begging for a job, you're asking for feedback on your work. This positions you as coachable, proactive, and respectful of their time. It's also demonstrating intellectual curiosity and a growth mindset. This immediately builds trust, which is going to be the foundation of any referral. And then also, you're going to be finally getting on their radar. So here is why I know the connect early step is so critical. Because I've been on the hiring side of the table. My previous manager, a true leader, liked keeping her top performers engaged in the full hiring process. Our interview process is extensive. It's the same one that I went through to get hired. It starts with the internal recruiter's initial phone screen. Then it moves to an automated video interview. Then it goes to a hiring manager phone interview. Then if you pass those, then you'll come in for in-person interview with the hiring manager, then another in-person interview with the team, and then a technical assessment, then an interview with upper management before finally getting back to the internal recruiter for offer negotiation. Here's the brutal truth that I learned from that experience. The candidates who came into our department, either directly or from our sister team, were the ones who had an internal referral or were already internal hires from part of the company. They didn't need to be technically perfect. They didn't need to be as polished as outside candidates. And they also skipped interview steps. So as long as the internal referral could vouch for them and say, yeah, they can do the job and they're a good fit, they often carried more weight than a slightly more technically impressive resume from a complete stranger. And then something more powerful is that my previous manager, the one who brought me into all of the hiring discussions, she was always willing to help. So I can't confirm this, but I believe that if you were able to connect with her, build a relationship with what I'm talking about now and do it early, and then prove that you had the skills to be an asset to our department and team by taking her advice, I believe that she would have referred you. If not to our team, she'd refer you to other teams internally. And a lot of you would get that job if you just had that internal referral. But it's not always about being the best coder, being the best at Python. It's more about being in front of the hiring manager when there's an opening that arises. Okay, now let's get into the execution of what you do in this step. This step is step one: identify your targets, focusing on hiring managers and data leaders. The hardest part about getting internal referral is being top of mind, is often building the relationships and knowing who these hiring managers are. This step is designed to help you identify those key people, position you in front of them so that when a job does open up, you'll be at least considered top of mind. So LinkedIn is going to be your best friend here. So who to target? You're going to look for data analytics managers, head of data, director of data, principal data analyst, or lead data scientist, or search for manager. And then for the various departments that handle data at the companies that you admire or industries you want to break into. These are often going to be direct hiring managers or the people who significantly influence hiring decisions. So don't be afraid to target higher level roles because they'll get you to the people who can get you a job. Also, you want to filter smart. Don't just connect with any people or just anybody. Look for people who are active on LinkedIn, sharing articles, commenting, or have hiring in their headline. These are people who are more likely and more open to have connections. And then ideal target size, you want to do this with as many people as you can, but just start with 5 to 10 people. And if that still sounds like a lot, just start with one. This isn't going to be a mass outreach play. It's a targeted high touch strategy that in the future, we're going to dive into more advanced problem solution based networking. But these are going to be the light early steps that could potentially lead to a job before you start applying. Step two, you're going to craft your outreach message, not and ask for feedback, not a favor. So this is where most people mess up. They're going to ask for the job directly or they sound completely desperate. We're going to do neither. We're just going to ask for feedback on your work. This is going to be a much lower barrier to entry. And so here is a template adapted to make it sound more like you, but stick to the course structure. So here's something that you can use. Hi, insert their name. I'm a career switcher or student who's completed a data analytics portfolio project. Focus on, then insert the specific industry, domain, and then the specific project. I'm deeply impressed by insert their company name, work in, and then mention something specific you admire about their data work, their project, their mission, their projects. As I prepare early to launch my job search, I'm seeking to refine my portfolio. I'd be incredibly grateful for 10 minutes of your time to get your expert feedback on and then mention a specific project. So like a customer churn prediction model, your perspective as, and then insert their title here would be invaluable to ensure that I'm showcasing what truly matters in today's job market. No pressure at all if you're busy, but I genuinely value your insights. And then sign off, best Jeff, best your name. So key elements here, you want to personalize to show that you've done your homework to this specific person. So it's not just a mass email, mass message. You also want to have a clear purpose, feedback on your portfolio, time respect, you have 10 minutes, no pressure, a polite out, reducing their obligation, and then a value proposition for them to ensure that I'm showcasing what truly matters, implying that your work could be relevant to their needs in the future. Template two is going to be a follow-up message once they accept or respond. Hi, and then insert their name. Thank you so much for connecting. I really appreciate it. If you have still a few minutes of your time, would you be open to a brief call next week to discuss and then insert a specific project name, like customer churn prediction model? I'm specifically looking for your insights on, and then reiterate 1 to 2 specific project aspects or areas, like the relevance of the model's features for real world business impact, or if my visualizations effectively convey the insights. This feedback will help me refine my approach for future projects and for my job search. I'm happy to work around your schedule. Please let me know what works best, Jeff. Step three, you're going to prepare for this feedback session. This isn't an interview, it's just a structured conversation focused on learning and building rapport. So think about this as a low stakes opportunity to practice articulating your work. So have your completed projects ready. Be prepared to walk them through your work, the business problems it solves using the CAP framework, context, action, and translation, your methodology, your key findings, and focus on telling the story of your project. Prepare specific questions. Do your preparation ahead of time. Don't just say what you think. Ask targeted questions like, given the challenges inside their industry, do you think Project X effectively demonstrates the analytical rigor required for a junior analyst role here? Or are there critical data analysis skills you believe that are not adequately highlighted in my portfolio that are essential for a junior analyst at a company like yours? This shows thoughtful and proactive nature. Also, be concise, get to the point, listen more than you talk, take notes. The goal is to learn from them, not impress them with everything that you know, and be respectful of their time. And then step 4 is the thank you and then relationship nurturing. So this step is critical. This is where you demonstrate you actually listen and you follow through based on their feedback. This is a key trait of any great hire, and you want to show that you didn't waste their time. An immediate thank you. So within an hour, send a concise thank you note referencing something that's specific that they said. Reinforce your appreciation for their time and their insights. Also, you want to have a follow-up project loop where this is where the magic happens. You incorporate their feedback and you actually refine and enhance your project based on your insight. You'd be surprised on how many people ask for feedback and they waste people's time and don't do anything based on that. This shows that you're coachable, take their advice seriously, and are committed to continuous improvement. This is how you differentiate yourself from 99% of the job seekers out there. And then here is a template that you can use. Hi, insert their name. I hope you're doing well. I just want to circle back and say thank you again for your incredible, helpful feedback on my data analytics portfolio projects a few weeks ago, months ago, into that time frame here. Your insights on and then mention their specific advice were a game changer. I've since refined that project. I've applied your advice specifically, then describe how you've implemented their advice. And I'm really proud of how it turned out and believe it really demonstrates. And then that specific skill or thing that you talked about, this feedback was invaluable. I've attached a link to the updated project in my portfolio if you're curious to see it. It truly reflects your guidance. Thanks again for your generosity of your time and expertise. Best, Jeff. So this is how you're going to get on their radar and stay there. You show that you listen, execute, and you respect their input. Then eventually you apply. That person will remember you. And who do you think that they might refer? The person that they've helped and seen progress and that they actually like. I know what you're thinking. What if they ignore me? What if I'm not ready to show my projects? This feels scary. So let's handle the first one. What if they ignore me? Yes, they will. Some will. Most could. And that's okay. This is going to be a numbers game. Don't take it personally. The job market is rough, so you just have to do what you have to do to get a job nowadays. But this is still a high quality approach. If 10% respond, that's still 1 to 2 quality conversations, and that's still a huge win. Most people get 0% response because they ask for a job. You're asking for feedback on your work. It's a lower barrier to entry, and if you keep sending high quality personalized message, every no gets you closer to a yes. What if you're not ready to show your project? If you completed step C inside this whole series where you created your projects, they may not be perfect. No project ever is, but they're done. So this is also helping you refine those projects based on what hiring managers actually want to see. This step isn't about proving you're an expert today. It's about showing that you're committed to continuous improvement. It's about being coachable. In fact, it's about being open to feedback. And this is precisely why you're connecting. You're showing maturity. Also, some of you might say this feels like begging. It's not begging. You're just putting yourself out there so it feels scary. You're showing incredible initiative. You're being proactive. A lot of the top performers and best hires do this. You're demonstrating a core trait of a great analyst, a desire for continuous improvement, and a willingness to seek diverse perspectives. This is asking for guidance, not a handout. You're positioning yourself as someone who will be a valuable mentee and eventually a valuable colleague. For many senior folks, it's a chance to share wisdom and identify emerging talent. But here's the truth. For everyone who skips this, the job search becomes harder. For every person who embraces it, the job search becomes exponentially easier because you're leveraging those critical early relationships and insights. This is how you start off to differentiate yourself from the thousands of other applicants. This is how you begin to turn that cold outreach into warm leads that could potentially land you that critical internal referral. So your action item today is just to take those portfolio projects and identify 5 to 10 hiring managers or data leaders, or just one on LinkedIn. Send out those personal connection requests, start planting those seeds now. And then remember that even one quality conversation is still a monumental win. In the next video, we're going to move fully into the job search phase of the launch system with L, which is going to be level up your application access, where you transform your resume, LinkedIn, and cover letter from a generic document into compelling narratives that scream, hire me. So you don't want to miss that. If you missed any of the videos in the series, watch this playlist now and catch up. And see you in the next video. Until then, query responsibly.